for coming. You're in the right place if you are here for financial aid. That's what we're talking about this evening in the drama lecture hall here. So thank you very much for coming. We have a presenter from Great Lakes here this evening. We will need you to sign in. It is a grant company, so in order to be reimbursed for her services, etc., we do have to have you sign in. So we will be sending around clipboards. Please make sure you sign into one of them. And she's not getting any type of demographic information that they'll use or anything along those lines. And so we'll start on this side. We'll send a couple around. And please make sure you sign in. All of you, as a family, should have a folder like this, and also the orange newsletter. If not, raise your hand, and someone will definitely get you that material. In the folder, you will notice a copy of her PowerPoint so that you can take notes as she goes along. And then there will definitely be an opportunity for some Q&A towards the end, I believe, right? Is that how you prefer it, Jill? All right, and this is Jill Hassenfeld, so she will be our presenter this evening. And then at the end, when we're done with questions and answers, I'm just going to talk a little bit about scholarships with all of you before we let you go. So, all right, that's that. Thank you very much.
So I'm going to grab the microphone here so everybody can hear me. I promise not to sing and dance, even though I always feel the need when I have a microphone in my hand and so close to the stage. As you heard, my name is Jill Hassenfeld. I'm College Access Advisor with Great Lakes. What that means is I get to go around talking to high school students and families about financial aid and everything else necessary in order to go to college. Just so I know who's here, who here is either a senior or a parent of a senior? Okay, did any juniors sneak in? Hey, welcome. Any sophomore or freshman? Okay, welcome. Those of you who are seniors or parents of seniors, congratulations. The finish line is in sight. Nice work. What we're going to do here today, as you heard, we're going to talk about financial aid. We're going to talk about the FAFSA. The sign-in sheets are going along. I just need one family per line as you're signing in on that sheet. So I'd say whoever's holding the folder, go ahead and sign in the names of everybody in your group. So if there are 3 of you, go ahead, all of you sign in on that line. Okay. Also, as we're going along, everybody should have a folder. In that folder, everything is yours to keep except a half-sheet evaluation. So if you want to look in that folder and look for that. That half-sheet evaluation is your ticket out the door. I'm going to need that before you leave today. Throughout the presentation, I am going to ask you a couple of questions. Do not worry, it's not a test. It basically, like you heard from your counselor, this is a grant-funded program. So in the past, we were able just to count heads. Now I actually have to show my bosses that I taught you something. So if you don't know the answers to the questions that I give you, it's okay. That's why you're here. It's a good thing if you don't know the answers to the questions. So just if you can participate that, we'd greatly appreciate that. I also just want to say before I get officially started here, I do about 24 of these per year, and most of the time the room is filled with parents. And I think this is the highest proportion of students who are here as well. So I just want to say congratulations to the counselors, congratulations to the parents. Something has to be going right here in Hartford. So to all the students who are here, thank you for being here because this is your financial aid, this is your FAFSA. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, what we're going to be talking about today, the types of financial aid, and then what you need to do to get that, which is the FAFSA. So, who is eligible for financial aid? One of the top things I always hear is, well, I'm not going to complete that FAFSA because I'm not going to get anything. Okay? I'm not going to show a raise of hands, but I'm going to bet there's a couple of you in here who might be thinking that. Okay? The fact of the matter is, folks who work, folks who are unemployed, even if you have a Powerball ticket in your pocket tonight and win it, okay? Everybody here is eligible for some type of financial aid as long as you graduate from high school, plan on going to college, and are a U.S. citizen. Okay? Everybody will get something. I'm just going to share a short story. I grew up in Germantown, okay? Not too far from here. And as every good 17 or 18-year-old does, I listened to my dad when he said, Jill, don't fill out the FAFSA because we're not going to get anything. Okay? All the 17 and 18-year-olds here listen to their dads, right? Their parents? Yeah? Okay. So I didn't fill out the FAFSA, okay? Because my dad said not to. Fast forward 4 years, my college roommate, who who all along college had been getting work study and loans, and not a ton of grants, but grants nonetheless, I find out we had similar family economic situations, okay? So for 4 years, she had been getting thousands of dollars of grants and work study that I possibly could have gotten, okay? So don't just assume that you're not gonna get anything, okay? Everybody here is eligible for something, and you don't know what you're eligible for until you complete the FAFSA, okay? So the 3 main types of financial aid that you might be eligible for, either all 3 or at least one: gift money, earned money, and borrowed money. We're gonna go through each of those individually here. So let's start with gift money, okay? Gift money is our favorite type of aid because it doesn't need to be repaid. You get it, you keep it, you don't need to give it back, okay? One common type of gift aid is scholarships, and you're going to be hearing more about scholarships later on from your counselor. But what I want to talk about is grants, okay? Grants do not need to be repaid, and there's a couple of sources for grants. The first one is the federal government, okay? Pell Grants are typically the most common types of grant that people have heard about. Anybody heard of Pell Grants before? Okay. Pell Grants are kind of unique because if you qualify for Pell Grants, you automatically receive it, okay? It's an automatic grant, so if you have the certain level of financial need, you're automatically going to receive that Pell Grant. As of right now, and the current economic situation in the country might change this soon, but Pell Grants never run out, okay? It is a bottomless pit of money from the federal government that if you qualify for Pell Grants, you get it, okay? So that is unlike any other grant that I'm going to talk about. So the next grant is the SEOG grant, or the Supplemental Educational Opportunity Grant. That grant, you also need to show that you have financial need for that grant, and you demonstrate financial need by completing the FAFSA. But that grant does run out. So there are every college gets a certain amount of money for SEOG money, and as they're handing that out, it eventually runs out. Okay. There's also the Teach Grant. If there are students who are looking to become teachers, that's a grant available for students who are thinking about becoming teachers, but there's a lot of restrictions on that grant, and if you don't end up teaching, if you don't teach in a certain area and you don't teach for a certain number of years, that grant turns into a loan. So for that reason, not a lot of schools distribute that grant. However, Pell Grant and SEOG are 2 grants that are more common. Okay. There are also grants available from the state government, and there's a lot of grants available from the state. I'm just going to talk about 2 specifically here. The WEG grant, or the Wisconsin Higher Education Grant, is a grant available for Wisconsin students going to either UW schools, technical colleges, or UW tribal colleges. The counterpart then for private colleges is the Wisconsin Tuition Grant. Again, for both of these grants, you need to demonstrate some level of financial need, a certain level of financial need, and these grants also run out, okay? It's first come, first serve. You get these grants if you're eligible, and as long as there's that money available, okay? What's the lesson so far that people are taking away from this with these grants? You gotta fill out your FAFSA soon. Bingo, exactly. Okay, so certain types of financial aid do run out, so you want to make sure you get your FAFSA filed on time. And we're going to talk about what that is a little bit later on in the presentation. Okay. There's a lot of other types of Wisconsin state grants, and in your folder on the left-hand side, towards the back, there's a spreadsheet with all of the different types of grants, so certainly take a look at that spreadsheet if you want to learn more. Again, all of those grants, you have to fill out the FAFSA to find out if you're eligible for them. There's one other type of grant available from the state of Wisconsin, which is the Wisconsin Covenant Scholars Grant. Anybody in this room know if they signed the Wisconsin Covenant Pledge as an 8th or 9th grader? I see a couple of hands. You're going to be getting a mailing about the Wisconsin Covenant if you signed this pledge in a couple of weeks. What you want to make sure you do is complete that confirmation process by April 1st, okay? You need to fill out a form, get a couple of signatures, fill out the FAFSA, all by April 1st, and then that student's guaranteed grants from $250 to $1,500 for up to 4 years. Okay, so just make sure you complete that confirmation process by April 1st. Yes.
8th or 9th grade, or 9th grade?
So they would have signed the pledge in 8th or 9th grade.
My mother did do that. The other daughter is.
Okay, so that daughter, when she is a senior, can go through that confirmation process. The question was, if you sign the pledge, when do you do that confirmation process? It's senior year, whenever they get there. Okay? Okay, welcome. Let's talk next about earned money. Okay, earned money is a way to work during college in order to receive financial aid, and this is typically known as work study. Anybody here have a work study job with the parents or the counselors in the room while they were in college? Anybody want to share what they did? Yes?
Custodian.
A custodian. You got paid for, and you got money for college. Thank you. Anybody else want to share what they did? Okay, I'll give you a couple more examples. One of my friends works the front desk of the dorm. Okay, so he let the pizza guy in, which was a very important job when we were in college. He gave out laundry tickets. If those care packages that parents send to their students, he retrieved it because it didn't fit in the mailbox. And then when there was nobody at the desk, he was able to study. Okay, so he got paid to basically socialize with the rest of us in the dorm, get some studying done. But that's also how he earned his work study money. Another one of my friends was a graphic design major, and thank you very much. Anybody else need to sign in? Thank you. She was a graphic design major, and she actually did graphic design for the university. Okay, so through her work study job, which I couldn't get because I didn't fill out my FAFSA, but through her work study job, she was able to do graphic design for the university, get 2 years of graphic design experience. She was hired by Target before she even graduated to do graphic design. Okay, so these work study jobs are a great benefit either for money or possibly also for experience. There is a question on the FAFSA that says, do you want to be considered for work study? Okay, I encourage everybody to say yes to that question, to at least be considered. Okay, you can always say no later, okay? But if you don't say yes when you fill out the FAFSA, you won't be offered work study, okay? Work study is not given out right at the start of the year like a grant would be. You have to get a job on campus, you have to work those hours, and then you earn a paycheck, okay? So when you receive that award letter, if you see that the student is getting $1,500 of work study, remember that you need to earn that money along the way. Okay? Okay, let's talk next about borrowed money. Borrowed money, these are the student loans. If you take out a student loan, it does need to be repaid. Okay, so different types of federal student loans. The first ones I'm going to talk about, all these loans that you see here up on the screen or on your slides, are loans taken out in the student's name. Okay, there's no credit check, there's no cosigner required. The students take out these loans, they're in the student's name. Okay, Perkins loan is one of the less common types of grants. Again, you need to demonstrate a certain level of financial need. Colleges only get a certain amount of Perkins money, but that's one type of grant available. The more common type of loan is the Stafford loan, also known as the direct loan. Okay, so you might see it as direct Stafford loan, Stafford direct loan, Stafford loan, all the same thing. Okay, two different types, subsidized and unsubsidized. And as you can see, the big difference is who covers the interest while the student is in college, okay? With the subsidized Stafford loan, the government will pay the interest while the student is in college. So if that student takes out a $2,000 loan at the end of 4 years, or however long it takes to get through college, that student's paying back $2,000. With the unsubsidized, the student's responsible for that interest. So if they take out a $2,000 unsubsidized loan, they're paying back $2,000 plus interest.